America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Oh, and will you note that Councilor Robinson joined us at the start of the meeting? Thank you. Matt, if you would do roll call, please.
Councilor Demas,
Here.
Pedri,
Here.
Zadi,
Here.
Hickerson,
Here.
Hanson,
Here.
Batolo, Robinson,
Here.
Thompson,
Here.
Mayor Mickelson.
Here. Okay. So that brings us to our consent agenda. This evening we have approval of the City Council meeting minutes of November 21st, 2023, the Joint Powers Telecom Board meeting minutes of October 19th, 2023, the Joint Powers Combined Communications Board meeting minutes of October 30th, 2023, and a notice from Williams regarding the Mountain West Overthrust Pipeline Westbound Compression Project. Council, do we have a motion?
So moved, Your Honor.
Thank you, Councilor Hickerson. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Pedri. Is there any discussion? There wouldn't be because it's a consent agenda. Just so everyone knows, I'm coming off of like 2 weeks of my brain being cooked by some virus. So I'm only about like 78% functional. With that, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Motion carries. We are going to defer the bid opening to our December 19th meeting. We had to do an amendment to the bid due to some manufacturing issues, which brings us to public comment. If you'd like to address the City Council and I, please approach the mic and let us know who you are and any organization that you might represent.
Good evening, Mayor. John Kolb, Senator, Senate District 12. This is in regards to the Rock Springs RMP, and I am one of the people on the task force appointed by the Senate, Senate President Ogden Driscoll, myself, Stacey Jones, and Dan Dockstetter are the three people from the Senate side. We also have House folks that have been appointed, Clark in particular, Representative Stith, Larson, and Cody, Representative Wiley. I just come before you to ask, I guess, a message do you want me to carry during those task force meetings? Sorry to spring this on you, Mayor. Hopefully I'm running more than 75% tonight. I'll do my best. I guess anything you want to add to this conversation or a question you might want to have of me about this topic?
Thank you, Senator, and I will turn this over to Council, but I have asked Rick Beckwith, the city attorney, to work with the county to make sure that the messaging from the city aligns with the messaging from the county, and so it would probably be good for him to be in touch with you as well to make sure that we're all on the same page, since, you know, we enjoy living here and don't want to have to pack up and move to California. Right? Council, do you have thoughts for Senator Kolb?
A lot of thoughts on this thing, but I wanted to thank you for your efforts in committing to work towards hopefully getting this resolved in a favorable way. The way that RMP is set up now and the favored project would be devastating to our community as a whole.
Absolutely. No, it is incredibly important work that you're doing, because it would be just catastrophic for our community. Nope.
Mayor,
Okay, we will be in touch and make sure you get that information. And if there's anything we can do to support your efforts, please let us know.
I will, Mayor. Councilor Zadi, I probably do need to be committed after this RMP process is over, because it is a pretty massive thing. I just wanted to add that President Driscoll wanted as much local representation in this committee as possible, and that's why we're there. as he told me that he wouldn't think that I should comment about Devil's Tower, but he would certainly think that and knows that we have local expertise on living in the area on what areas are important, but also feedback from the public. I had asked them to publish the people, the folks on this committee, so the general public can talk to them. If there's something that you want to express as an issue, beyond, or maybe just a question, you can feel free to contact people on this committee and tell them your thoughts and have your chance for public input, because this is still our chance to try to have a more positive outcome to this process.
Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
Senator Cole, there was an extension that we did get. Was it 60-day extension? Or what was for the comment period?
Mayor, Councilor Zadi, 60 days.
60, we requested 120?
Well, yeah, I was one who started the request. I regret I should have requested more than 120, but we got 60, which is better than 0. So, yes, to answer your question, it goes into
What is the
January.
new deadline?
You had to ask me that, Counselor. I think it's early January. I can get back to you on the exact date. I apologize.
If I remember correctly, it was January 16th, I think was the new.
Hey, Mayor, you're running at over 100%.
I promise I'm not. And I do appreciate Senator Driscoll's approach. It would be really nice if our federal administration valued local input over foreign input, much less local input. So at least Wyoming's doing it right.
Well, we're all trying to do the best for the people of the state.
Yes, sir. Very good.
Right. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you,
Council.
Senator.
My name is Rick Malonis. I'm here to talk about table and chairs at 204 Elk Street. I filed an appeal with the city on November 17th. And the statute says the city has 5 days to give me a response, and I haven't heard anything back. So I just wanted to come and see what's the word? Does anybody know where we're at on that?
To my knowledge, councilors, mayor, no appropriate appeal has been filed.
What do you consider an appropriate appeal? I thought I followed all the things that the statute said I needed to file.
Mayor, councilors, I cannot advise Mr. Malonis. I've advised him on more than one occasion to obtain an attorney. The process that he's attempting to go about doesn't exist within our ordinances. He's just simply going about it in the wrong way. He needs to get the advice of counsel, and I really can't discuss it any further. And Mr. Malonis has threatened on more than one occasion to sue us, and so I just won't discuss it any further unless it's in an executive session.
It says right in the statute that anybody can file an appeal. It says right here. Any person may file an appeal to the Building Appeals Board. I mean, well, it's pretty straightforward. And the reason for the appeal, the decision being appealed, and the relief I'm seeking. I mean, that's what you asked for. That's what the statute says.
I've never been in a position where I've had to file an appeal with the building board, so I can't speak to the details of the process. I am more than happy, however, to look into it and get back in touch with you to share my understanding.
Well, I would sure appreciate that, Mayor. Maybe we could have a discussion on how we can move forward with this. But I thought I had it all figured out. You could at least respond and told me that I didn't have it figured out.
But we certainly will be in touch.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who'd like to speak?
Hi, my name is Robert Downham. What I'm here to speak about is mental illness. I give you an example, and is it possible? You take a mentally ill person, put them in jail with criminals, you turn into a criminal, okay? All my life, I thought I was a criminal. I went to the state hospital 3 years ago, and they found me incompetent. The doctor put his hand on my shoulder and said, Rob, you're not a criminal. You have a mental illness. I quit everything. Quit going out stealing. Quit selling. Changed my life. My mom, my family pulled the plug on my mom however long ago. I don't even know the date my mom died. Pulled the plug on my mom without me there. Okay? And made me dysfunctional. I wanted to die. Like, my mom was my everything. And, well, when they dismissed all the charges I had, the judge did not put on my thing that insanity or the lawyer told me they dismissed it because of COVID. The system did not recognize that I was incompetent. I was found incompetent 3 times. Ever since my mom died, like, I don't want to live no more, okay? Nothing to live for. But you know what? Your past catches up to you, you know? And I was put in jail for something I didn't do, like for theft and assault. The girl says she sold me an amp, and I told her I'm gonna get checked out, see if it works. Next day she came over, knocked on my door 20 minutes. Well, I was asleep. And back then, when my mom died, getting sleep was like a rarity. And she called the cops. She said I hit her. They said, what's the pain from 1 to 10? She said 2, but that wasn't the problem. No marks on her. And they charged me with theft when she said she sold it to me. So they sent me to court. I got in, they held me for 20 days in jail for evaluation and asked for. What crime did he do? And dismissed it 20 days later. I get pulled over. Well, I go Walgreens. I get kicked out of a store for no reason. I sent a letter to the mayor and to the chief of police. It says Robert Downham has tardive and kinesia that would show signs of being high on meth, which he's not. The police did not tell me why I was kicked out of that store. I went there to get a universal remote control. That's all I did. I did not talk to anybody. The manager walks up to me and says, you gotta leave. I said, why? You're scaring my staff. Wow. Okay. I get out. He calls the police. I'm up at Walmart. I got expired tags and expired license. Why? Because my mom died. DMV sent a letter to my mom's house, but she don't live there no more. I didn't know I was driving without a license or nothing. Well, they made me walk a straight line. Tardive and kinesia, uncontrollable body movement. I can't walk a straight line. I can't walk a straight line. I can't control my movement. I got put in jail for that, for impaired driving. The cops, instead of saying, Rob, we think you're impaired when it came to the Walmart, because they knew my vehicle was out there. Instead of saying, Rob, we think you're impaired, you should get a ride home, they waited 45 minutes for me to get in the vehicle, pull me over to say I'm impaired. They didn't pull me over because I was going over the lines. Like, and I didn't know what was going on. I got kicked out of Downs. I'm in there eating a yogurt. Cop comes in there. Rob, management wants you to leave. Just for the night, though. For what? She walks in and says, you're scaring one of my customers. I dress nice, 5'7". I didn't know I had body control movement. I didn't know that. I didn't know. I got kicked out of Brian Jay's. I got kicked out of Family Dollar because I got kicked out in NA. I get kicked out of these places. And you know what? Society does not know. Like, we do not have one psychiatrist in this whole town. There's not one place in the whole state of Wyoming I could go to get stabilized. I had to go all the way to Huntsman Mental Institute to get stabilized. I didn't know it was wrong. They said I had tardive dyskinesia. And I got this letter, which changed my life. I was so paranoid to come out of my house because of society looking at me. I didn't know I scared people. I didn't know anything. I have a mental illness. I'm not doing anything no more. I'm not, I was trying to live, man. I got no family, got no friends. I'm on my own. I'm on disability. I try to live by myself. My picture goes on Sweetwater now. As soon as they put me in jail, everybody's robbing my house. And why they get put in jail? And then held until I get an evaluation. The judge says, you get an evaluation, 30 days. You know what the doctor comes down and says, I think Rob's hiding solutions, but he's incompetent without a lawyer, competent with a lawyer. The same judge kicks me out of my trailer without a lawyer. 2 days I had to get out of my house. The guy that robbed my house, which is on the video down at the jail, prosecutors looked at it. I'm telling him, leave my stuff in the house. He's taking all my stuff out of the house on video. I press charges, no arrest. No arrest, man. And then I called the second time. The sheriff's intervened. It says Rock Springs police showing up to make my second report. They told me you got 15 minutes to get everything out of your house. I had a panic attack. They took me to the hospital. I got a picture. I got one picture of my mom, all my kids' stuff, everything I ever owned since I was a child was gone to demolish. Demolished, man. I couldn't defend myself. I called legal aid. Judge called legal aid. We ain't got no record of legal aid. There's a girl sitting next to me from nursing that went down there and did all this. 2 days to get out. If you want to pill it, you got to come up with $950. I lost my home. Every picture of the kid, my mom, every picture of my mom. Why? Because of my past? Why? Why did they do that? If I was found incompetent, why didn't they put it on my record? Why? You know? You know what? Selfless counseling? Oh yeah, you go to drug rehab. Yeah, they got room for them to go to get stabilized. They got sober living. What about for us mentally ill people? Mark Means, he's in and out of jail, schizophrenia. They let him out of jail a couple days ago. Out in the cold, nowhere to go. Out in the cold, man. Walk from jail. My God. Drunk in public. Drunk in public. Why would you charge somebody drunk in public? Give him a ride home. He's going to go to jail either way, if you drive or walk. When you better have him walk, give him a ride home, instead of arresting for drunk in public, how does the alcoholic know he's drunk? How do they know when they're drunk? How do they know? Why would you arrest somebody for drunk in public? Because they decided not to get in their car. And they still go to jail. They still go to jail. I don't know, informants. There will never be a drug bust if there's no such thing as informant. There'd be no drug bust. It's all happening inside. They're not hurting the community. And if it's so serious, how come they let it go on? How come they arrest them right on the spot? This is such a serious crime. I don't know. I'm not trying to complain about it. I'm here to really speak about the mental ill. Nowhere in the whole state of Wyoming I could go to get help, to get stabilized. WBI, if you're not there, it's walking. If you're not there when the bed opens, you ain't getting a bed. Edison, you got to be court ordered to go there. And you guys want me to get better? Like, how? How? I went all the way to the state hospital, or the mental hospital out in Salt Lake, so I could get stabilized to better myself, because I have a little bit of things that maybe tomorrow might just get a little bit better. That's how I live. Maybe tomorrow might be a little bit better. It's getting worse. I called the cops I went to the hospital, okay? I can't take no more. I go up to the hospital. And I've been talking to Irene. She's the CEO of the hospital. She was talking about we ain't got enough money for a psych ward here. Why? You know what? You guys got these cop cars that camouflage. Why would you camouflage a cop car? How about somebody's running from somebody that's going to kill them and they can't tell it's a cop? Why would you camouflage a cop car? It does not make sense. Like, all we got to do is buy binoculars and we can see their car. What's the sense in it? Like, you guys are protect and serve. Like, supposed to be out there. If I'm running from somebody, how do I know you're a cop or not? How do I know? Like, anyway, something has to be done. Something has to be done. Something has to be done about it. Why don't we got enough money? How come there's potholes everywhere you go, but there's brand new jail, brand new courthouse? How come there's always room in jail, but there's not room for somebody like me? Like, because I got in trouble in the past? Because every cop in here knows me? Yeah, look at Robinson right there. We were in a high-speed chase. I'm like, no? But have I been in trouble since? Like, since I've been on Say Hop? No. Is my name out there? Yeah. People don't spread rumors. Rumors is rumors, you know? Like, but what am I doing? I'm trying to survive, just like any one of you guys out there. Because I dress different, because I look like a hoodlum. Does it mean I am? Because a rock star up there singing, and he looks all crazy and head metal out, long hair. Does that mean he's out there robbing everybody? You know, somebody moved on my trailer 3 weeks ago, and then he left a couple things behind. He moved out. I told him the day before that I get the rest of the stuff. He just left a couple things. I get the rest of things to bring it to you. I don't want you to go in my house. They came to my house without me there, and I told them not to. I called the cop. The cop said, "Oh, statute 14856, that he's allowed to come back into my house and take what he wants. He's allowed to do it." And walked away. Why? Because of me. I bet you, if the Robert Down that went into the house, I bet you guarantee they'd come arrest me. They'd come arrest me. And then, what about the fentanyl everywhere? I can't get an ibuprofen up at the hospital. I could go out in the streets and get fentanyl 7, 8 places right now.
Honor,
Yes, sir.
Robert,
Yeah.
if I can, I understand. I hear what you're saying. And
I'm sorry.
it is an issue with mental health.
Okay.
And there's not enough services, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
Is that correct?
Why isn't there?
What would you like us as council to do? I mean, if we understand what you're saying and going, but there's so much we can do. It's probably more of a much higher level. What you're asking with public service and mental health services, what?
I don't know what to do. You know how much it took for me to come in here tonight?
Your Honor.
A whole lot for me to come here tonight. A whole lot, man. What can we do? Like, what do I have to, like, what do
Hey,
we have to do?
Robert.
Like, there's no place to get stabilized. No place to get stabilized.
Hey, Robert.
Yeah,
So I remember that high speed chase.
yeah.
It was really kind of a slow speed chase because your car couldn't get out of second gear, and that was one of the precursors to the Rock Springs PD changing its high speed chase policy. Literally, my slow speed chase with you changed the way Rock Springs PD looked at pursuing people for traffic violations. So on kind of a small level, you helped change things in Rock Springs. I understand what you're saying about mental health. The governor had a town hall meeting last week about mental health. And as much as I support treatment court kind of monopolized that entire meeting. We didn't discuss mental health nearly as much as we should have. And I completely agree that it is a huge, huge issue. Everything you've talked about tonight, there's a lot to unpack. So I can't address everything that you've talked about. But I would agree that the way Wyoming government, whether it be the police department, the sheriff's department, the courts, how we interact and how we look at mental health has to change. And I was kind of hoping the governor's town hall would really address that, but it really didn't. I'm hoping, the governor said that he hopes to have more meetings about this. I'm hoping that we can look at this in a more comprehensive way to address some of the issues. I've interacted with you for 30 years.
Yep.
You've never been, for lack of a better term, a jerk. You know, I know that you've got issues. Some may have been alcohol related, some may have been drug related, but I think the majority of them were mental health related. I completely understand that. But it's not something that we as a city council can address in total tonight. But I do know that overall, mental health is being looked at differently now than it was even 5 years ago. And I hope that as a city council and with the governor's input, that we can make some changes to the way that things are done statewide. But it's just definitely not one entity that can do anything about it. It's going to have to be a total, redo on everything. And I'm sorry for a lot of the stuff that you have to go through. I understand, what it's like to have to go through. I mean, if you look at it from a law enforcement's point of view, when a business calls and says, hey, Robert's acting kind of weird, he's scaring our customers, law enforcement really doesn't have much of a choice but to say, Rob, you need to leave this business. You're scaring people. You're making them nervous. They really don't have the opportunity or the, I won't say training, but the mental health aspect of it isn't really their biggest concern at that point. Their concern is that a business is concerned that you are affecting their clientele and you're scaring them. And so asking you to leave is probably the easiest way to solve that problem. And I know that it doesn't solve the big problem, but it solves the problem right then and right there. And that's kind of what, unfortunately, law enforcement's job is. Sometimes I digress back to my days as a police officer, but their job is to solve the problem right now, not the long term. It's people above and beyond the law enforcement or police department to solve the longer term problem. And I'm hoping that we can start working on that for folks like you and the many, many people that suffer from mental illness. But I wish there was something that we could do to make it better right now, but I hope that you understand that things will get better. It's going to take some time, but I would definitely recommend the next time the governor has a town hall regarding mental health, that you show up and have a conversation there. And again, I was part of the treatment court board for several years during my time at the PD, and treatment court is a great thing. But when we have a town hall regarding mental health, we need to talk about more than just treatment court. We need to talk about mental health and what we can do on a small scale, a city scale, on how to work on it. I probably rambled too much, Your Honor.
No, you're good. I just wanted to tell you thank you. I recognize that it takes a lot of courage to come up here and share things that are very painful. And it is certainly, your words have been heard. We are working with the hospital and the county on some approaches because everyone recognizes that not just as a county, but as a state, that we are failing in mental health. And so I have sent a letter to the governor's office expressing my appreciation and my disappointment about his mental health town hall for that very reason. And I think we do have an opportunity to recreate it on a smaller scale and send some feedback to the governor with the input of the county commission and the hospital. And certainly I agree with Councilor Robinson. If the governor comes back, we'll make sure and get in touch with you and let you know when and where so that you can get there. And if you need help getting there, we'll figure it out and get you there because your voice would be very good for the governor to hear.
Gillette, smaller than this place, has a psych ward. And I've been talking to Irene up at the hospital, and she said, we ain't got enough money. Right? We ain't got enough money. Well, how come? How come? How come? Like, because you know what? Like, I can't wait on, like, just point in the right direction. I'll go to Cheyenne, go to the government myself. Like, this needs to be heard. I'm traumatized. Like,
December 19th.
I'm scared of the police. I'm scared of the police.
Robert, December 19th
December 19th?
is the county commission meeting. And they would be who you'd want to talk to about the hospital funding and the need for mental health services at the hospital.
Here, December 19th?
In Green River at the courthouse.
So December 19th. Okay.
Yes, sir.
I just want to be pointed in the right direction. I know. I want to be heard because, like, and that's why I dropped the letter off to the mayor because I didn't know my Biden was scaring people. I didn't know that. I didn't know that because I move around, that I look high on meth. And I'm not. Like Social Security kicked me out. Security guard said, you got to leave behind meth. Why would I go down to Social Security high on meth? Where to get my check at? Why would I do that? Like, and then I think, oh God, I'm a monster, man. Like the poor baby.
I can tell you my history with you is not as long as Councilor Robinson's.
Huh?
But when we met, I think it was last month,
Yeah.
we had a very nice conversation.
Yeah, we did.
And I did not think you were a monster.
Okay. Well,
And you are always welcome to come visit with me and we can see what we can come up with. And there is very little that the city has the authority to do, right? We don't really have the power to enact those changes, but we're definitely working on supporting them. So thank you again for coming.
I just want you guys to back me up. I'll be the example. I'll do whatever I have to do to talk to whoever I have to talk to. Like, I just need to know where to go. I need what to do, what I have to do. Like, because you know what? Not only am I fighting for myself, I'm fighting for every mentally ill person out there. Every single mentally ill person out there
Yes,
that's
sir.
going through the same thing I'm going through.
Absolutely.
That
Thank you.
doesn't know what he's doing wrong. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Because you know what? I gave up all that stuff. I'm not high speed chasing. I'm not just stealing cars. I'm not doing nothing.
Yeah.
I'm trying to live. I'm trying to live now. I'm tired. I'm tired of fighting with the system. Like, I'm tired. I'm retired. Like, I'm done. I want to be happy. I want to get married. I want to die happy. I want to die sad. Okay, that's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Is there anyone else who'd like? Yes, ma'am.
My name is Heather Weidel. Last time I typed something up when I talked to you guys. Like I said before, I'm not a good public speaker, so I'd rather talk and then just get like feedback as I talk rather than talking at you with a piece of paper, standing here with a piece of paper. And like some of the stuff I want to talk about anyway is just a little bit painful. So some of these things, like I said, I've never done like a town hall, like talked in a town hall before or a meeting. And I think what I'll say might be cut a little bit compared to the last time I came in and spoke. I altered what I wanted to say. So that's why I'm back here again. There were children present, the Boy Scouts were here, and there were a bunch of veterans for recognizing Veterans Day. And some of the subject matter I wanted to bring up was not appropriate for children. Back in 2004, I attended a police academy. I was going to be a police officer. And sitting like 18 hours away, I have a paper sitting in front of me. I graduated here back in '96. My dad moved us here my senior year in high school. And then I ended up getting divorced and I moved back home out of state. And I'm sitting there and there's a paper and it says Rock Springs, Wyoming, meth capital of the US. And my heart just drops. I'm like, I've got family, I've got friends here, and a lot of history here. And there's been a lot of events that have come to the point of even coming here and wanting to speak, or even speaking in general about any of this stuff. Because a lot of this stuff, some family don't know some of these events, and the public don't know some of these events. I don't remember the article. You guys were talking about an altercation between two people, and you brought out like the dash cam and the body cam footage from the officers, and you kind of sussed that out and got that figured out and represented that to the public. I know as far as in Wyoming, it was one of the most stringent states as far as what you release for body cam and dash cam footage. And that's, they keep the privacy of the person. But I know it was in 2017 that bill was passed and they're still working on it. But honestly, I think that needs to be revisited again. I know you guys are trying to be transparent. And like I said the last time, I don't point fingers at anybody. I'm like, everybody has their own accountability. I'm not a perfect person. But Rock Springs does have a history. And speaking here today, I was told by a family member and friends, don't speak here. Because what you say is nothing's going to be done. Speaking, I do DoorDash, and even like the sequence of events leading up to the car accident I had, there was a residence that actually had 2 stolen signs that I noticed on the list that I had typed up. And then the next address I went to, that was where the actual sign was missing. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. It's like all kind of lining up. So it's actually finding the residents where the stolen signs are and actual findings, other, damaged areas in the city and signs and stuff. But as far as the transparency, I did appreciate that when you guys brought the officer in here and covered all that, because I am a sexual assault survivor. And that all...
Ma'am, if it would be better for you, I'd be more than happy to meet with you privately, and we could have that conversation where it's not public. Okay, if you'll just call the business office, they'll schedule you with me, and we can get that taken care of.
Okay. Back to like the footage, as far as that being released, there is a mindset here in Rock Springs and in Wyoming in general, I've noticed, because I am an outsider. I wasn't born and raised here. And it's not a disparaging thing, it's just noticing how things are a little bit different here. There is kind of like a protective type of covering up that does happen. I've noticed living in different cities in the state, where, if you say something, you get retaliated on. But I'm a person, I'm going to speak up no matter how difficult it is. I'm like, I can't allow somebody to be hurt. And I've never raised my voice to law enforcement. I've never been ignorant to law enforcement. I'm like, it's going to take a lot for me to be hateful. I do have issue with my accident. I do have issue with some of the things that did happen. I honestly do want to investigate it further. I think the sequence of events that have kind of unfolded, I'd like it to be looked into more. I would honestly like the piece of footage from my accident, if it does show it, because where I was at in the intersection, I was blindsided by the other driver. She didn't yield, and my door was actually caved in where I had to actually get out of my passenger side door. I would like to know who the witness was that saw the accident, because I was disoriented. I went around the front of the vehicle, leaned against the vehicle, and just kind of stayed there and called 911. And as I looked to my left, the officer was there with the other driver. But there was a man that was on Gateway going towards Sunset. He was in the left lane, the other driver was in the right. He said, "Ma'am, are you okay?" I said, "Yes, I'm fine." He said he saw everything. At the time, I didn't think, ask him to stay, because the accident was right in the middle of the intersection. I figured stay calm, get everything done, and then, discuss that later. And that didn't happen. But in order to have resolution for this, I would like to, for that man to give his information to law enforcement. So if it matches what actually happened in that police report and the actual events, because the business that I'm not going to say who it is, the business that I contacted the day after the accident, and they told me 2 weeks after the fact that their footage got deleted, 5 days after. But I requested it the day after the accident. And some things were said where were questionable. So I would just like resolution on that. And some more things, to maybe phone records to be pulled and some Facebook stuff to be looked at.
Okay.
So.
Well, I will get with Chief Harris Palmer, and then we'll get back in touch with you and see what we're able to do within the law.
Okay, I understand that. I did request before that the information was just held, so it wouldn't be destroyed, or whatever process you guys go through to how long you keep the information. And today I actually requested, could I please view it myself? And the lady in records, the supervisor for records said, you already requested that. I did not request that. I requested that it be maintained, not that and then I also understand that you need an attorney in order for a copy. I was just asking this time today to go in and physically look at the information. So that's kind of where it's at right now. And I do have my phone records. I requested, it took a month for my phone company, all contact with law enforcement, all contact with these other businesses, trying to get this resolved. And I had an accident, same outcome, well, not same outcome, but the same circumstances where the other driver was at fault. This was back in 2004. And I was driving on Elk, and it was a 16-year-old girl. She blew through the stop sign over on Ridge by Huxford Chiropractic. And I just hit her at 30 miles an hour. And it was kind of, a mentality like, look what you did to my car, trying to find fault with, and trying to use that, who type of thing to kind of cover things up. I'm like, there's too many witnesses. You can't really do that in this situation. And there was an off-duty firefighter that came over and asked if I was okay, because my whole car was just smashed in. And these are ironically, I'm like, this is not ironically, but 2 worst accidents I've ever been in my life were here in Rock Springs. So, but I'm just asking for accountability. I say when I do something wrong. I'm too honest. Friends say I need to work on my poker face because, when I see BS, I'm just like, I can't hide it. So, but there's a bunch more I want to talk about, but I know it's been already a long type of thing. But if I could talk with you more in the future, that would be great.
Yeah.
And I appreciate this more because it's less nerve-wracking than sitting here reading a paper, and I'm not shaking or nervous like I was last time. So.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, if you'll just call, they'll schedule you.
Okay, awesome. Okay, appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. Would anyone else like to address us? Nope. Okay. Hearing or seeing no one, I will close public comment and we'll move forward to bills and claims for December 5th of 2023. Council, do I have a motion?
Your Honor,
Councilor Demas?
I make a motion to approve the bills and claims for December 5th, 2023.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Hickerson. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining?
Abstaining. Abstain.
Okay, the motion carries with Councilors Pedri and Thompson abstaining. That brings us to the salaries for November 22nd, 2023. Do we have a motion?
Your Honor,
Councilor Demus?
I make a motion to approve the salaries for November 22nd, 2023.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Zadi. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining?
Abstaining. Abstain.
Okay, the motion carries with Councilors Pedri and Thompson abstaining, which brings us to new business. The first item is a request from the mayor's office for permission to survey and divide a parcel of land. A little background information for all of you. Jim Lever, who's here this evening, approached me on behalf of the Zanettis for the Rayhans parcel that sits behind the old Plains Tire business, asking if the city would be willing to consider selling that particular piece of land. If I remember correctly, it was donated to the city in 1982 with the purpose of being a memorial park for this fella's kids. And I don't personally have any issue with selling it as long as the family gives us permission to dispose of the property as we see fit. As we stand currently, there is no capacity or intention to put a park there. I think, the intent was good at the time, but it's outside of our means, and it would certainly benefit the business there and their expansion and our traffic flow on Dewar Drive, because it would give them a place to put cars. So with that, I asked Mr. Lever to secure permission from the family to the city to dispose of it as we would. Because it involves the Bitter Creek Restoration Project, the parcel has to be divided, and first it has to be surveyed and cleaned up and all sorts of complicated things. And so we thought we would bring it before you guys to make sure, whether you're in favor of selling it or not, to give us some direction there. And if you guys are good with it, then Mr. Kausich's department will proceed with that process. And hopefully sometime before like 2037, we'll be able to move forward. But with that, I would entertain a motion followed by discussion.
Your Honor,
Councilor Zadi?
I'd move to approve that request.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Demus. Is there discussion?
Your Honor,
Councilor Hickerson?
Mr. Lever, were you able to get that permission secured from the Rayhans family? Sorry to call you up.
You look bored sitting there.
You just have too much fun.
Councilmen, councilwomen. Yeah, it's been a long road because they're all fragmented all over the country. The trustees or the relatives of Cy Rayhans. So I think this process started like 3 months ago. Mayor, if that sounds about right. Or four. I know the process as far as moving towards the land sale started about 5 or 6 months ago. So that's a short answer, or that's a long answer to the short is I have got about 3/4 of it done. So I'm still waiting for some more documentation as far as the full, but I anticipate that happening. I've been in close contact with the relatives. They've got a few asks that they're requesting from Complete Automotive. I don't necessarily think they're requesting it from the city. I think the city pretty much will be off the hook as far as any kind of liability from the previous owners, as far as they have no interest in it being a park anymore. And their nieces, we're dealing with like nieces now that are, it was 2004 that the transfer took place. that the land transfer took place. It was deeded in, was recorded, I think it was the 28th of December of 2004. So it's been 20 years now, and I don't think anything is going to happen besides something really exciting, which means when Plains shut down, they laid off 10 people. Complete Automotive rehired 12 people from those 10 they laid off. So if Complete Automotive can get access to this piece of property, which will give them a means of expansion, I think it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 12 to 15 people that they're going to hire in addition to the ones that they've hired by, I mean, when Les Schwab came in, they gave everybody the boot. So
I would like to note for the record that 20 years ago is firmly 1983 in my head.
Yeah, that's close. But I've done, and John and I have talked about it. John Kausich and myself have talked about some of the different issues. We're not quite sure as far as the land, how you want to split the land. If you're looking for just an easement type of thing, or if you're looking for, it's 1.29 acres. So it would have to be, I don't know, John, if that's anything you've thought about.
My name's Paul, by the way.
I'm sorry. Paul. I was thinking of your dad.
Your Honor, Counsel. What we were thinking is, one, it has to go through a subdivision process to accomplish this, but there is a pathway from the Bitter Creek Restoration Project to Dewar Drive that was planned under, I guess, the original plans for that segment. And so our intention would be to, during the subdivision process, dedicate a right-of-way for that pathway, that corridor, and then that would essentially make 2 lots. And then we would, I guess, ask your permission to sell the lot adjacent to the Plains Tire facility. And we would retain the right-of-way and the other remaining parcel towards the Bitter Creek.
Very good.
Are we going to get it appraised? Yeah. Okay.
Any other questions for me?
Who will be handling the expenses as far as cleanup and a few items that the mayor mentioned?
Is that a question for me?
Yes.
I don't think we've
It would be
determined that.
So the city would bear the cost up front of the surveying and all that work, and then the sale of the land would recoup the cost. Paul and I talked, and he feels that it would be definitely covered, so it would be cost neutral, which I'd feel better about. I'm not super excited about the city benefiting from a donation that was given with an intent to memorialize somebody, and so if we are able to cover our time and expenses and benefit a business, like that's a win all around.
Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
Just a thought. If the Bitter Creek project is going to continue through that path, it'd be nice to at least maybe acknowledge the family that donated that parcel of land and some type of plaque or something to just acknowledge that what the original intent was for that piece of property.
We've discussed that, and we would be happy to help or facilitate a memorial, a plaque, a statue. I don't know how that goes, but yeah, we have no, it's nothing about trying to not give them what they want. It's just, I don't think that Park says we have.
No. I have one.
Not getting what they
I have one request, Mr. Mayor, that's if Paul and I could work together, because I've got a load of information that I've acquired through the last 6 months that may be helpful to sit down and, work with Paul to maybe streamline this out a little bit.
Yeah.
And work with our city attorney, Rick.
Yep. All we need is that permission from the family.
Yeah, and I think the only, the one concern the family had is, they give the permission back and then the city's got the land back, and then they can do whatever they want with it without any kind of precursor as far as what happens. That comment's been made several times, so I may have to talk to Rick about maybe drafting something that would put their mind to rest, that or you're just not going to put it to good use, I guess.
Yeah, and that I'm sure we can offer them an assurance. I mean, the city has no interest in the land, so.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure where the access points are, to be honest.
Well, and that's my understanding, that it's kind of a, I think the technical term is a hot mess.
Yeah.
And so it's going to need some work to untangle, and so that we could move forward and the title company won't just laugh at us.
Sure.
Very good.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Is there any further discussion? Okay. With that, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Okay, motion carries unanimously. Our next item of new business is a request from the police department for permission to fill a vacant animal control administrative assistant position. Do we have a motion?
Your Honor,
Counselor Demas?
I make a motion to approve this request.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Counselor Petrie. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Motion carries unanimously. Next, we have a request from the Parks and Recreation Department for permission to fill a vacant recreation supervisor position at the Civic Center. Do we have a motion?
So moved, Your Honor.
Thank you, Counselor Hickerson. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Counselor Hanson. Is there any discussion?
Your Honor.
Counselor Hickerson.
Before voting on this, I just want to thank the Parks and Rec Department and the board, the Travel and Tourism Board, for the sponsoring and the setup of the basketball tournament this past weekend for the 5th and 6th graders. It was much better than last year. It went incredibly well, so thank you.
Very good. Any other discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Okay, motion carries unanimously. Our next item of new business is a request from the Parks and Recreation Department for permission to bid the specific purpose tax irrigation replacement project at the Wataha Recreation Area. Do we have a motion?
Your Honor,
Counselor Demas?
I make a motion to approve this request.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Counselor Robinson. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Motion carries unanimously. Our next item of business is a request from 10 malt beverage permits from Darren Naylor for the Rock Springs Grizzlies hockey games on December 8th, 9th, and 30th of 2023, January 12th, 13th, 19th, 26th, and 27th of 2024, February 2nd and 3rd of 2024 at the Rock Springs Family Recreation Center's Ice Arena. Do we have a motion?
Your Honor, I move that we approve this request.
Thank you, Counselor Thompson. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Counselor Robinson. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Okay, the motion carries unanimously, which brings us to our first resolution of this evening, Resolution 2023-163.
A resolution accepting and approving an agreement to provide professional and consulting services from Barry Dunn McNeil and Parker LLC, doing business as Barry Dunn, for the City of Rock Springs Parks and Recreation Department in the amount of $144,056 and authorizing Max Mickelson as mayor and Matthew L. McBurnett as city clerk to execute said agreement on behalf of the city of Rock Springs.
Thank you. Council, I would look for a motion followed by discussion, if any.
Your Honor,
Councilor Hickerson?
move to approve resolution 2023-163.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Robinson. Is there discussion? Hearing none. Matt, if you'll lead us through.
Counselor Pedri,
Yes.
Zadi,
Yes.
Hickerson,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Demus,
Yes.
Mayor Mickelson.
Yes. Okay, the motion carries unanimously. Our next resolution is Resolution 2023-164.
A resolution accepting and approving a memorandum of understanding between the City of Rock Springs, Wyoming and the United Mine Workers of America, Local Union 4893, and directing Max Mickelson as mayor of the City of Rock Springs, Wyoming, and Matthew L. McBurnett as city clerk of the City of Rock Springs, Wyoming, to execute said memorandum of understanding on behalf of said city.
Thank you. Council, do we have a motion?
Your Honor,
Councilor Hickerson?
move to approve resolution 2023-164.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Hanson. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, if you will, please, Matt.
Counselor Zadi,
Yes.
Hickerson,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Demus,
Yes.
Pedri,
Yes.
Mayor Mickelson.
Yes. Motion carries unanimously. Which takes us from resolutions into ordinances. We're on the third reading of ordinance 2023-09, so we will look to take action.
An ordinance amending section 1403 of the ordinances of the City of Rock Springs entitled Vacancy, Manner of Filling Vacancies.
Council, do we have a motion?
Your Honor,
Councilor Hickerson.
move to approve ordinance 2023-09.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Robinson. Is there discussion? Okay, hearing none. Matt, if you will, please.
Counselor Hickerson,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Demus,
Yes.
Pedri,
Yes.
Zadi,
Yes.
Mayor Mickelson.
Yes. Okay, motion carries unanimously. And with that, business is concluded. Meeting